Hello and welcome to the Reflexive Journey of a Placement Student. This short video presentation will give you some insight into the journey you've been through since you started your degree here at the University of Sunderland. Okay, so if you remember when you first entered the university, way back in your first year, you were saying, well, what did I learn in my first year? Well, knowledge-wise, I learned about accounts, a little bit of marketing, you learned about skills, you learned about the external environment, and you learned about people and organisations. You may remember that you did video case studies and you learned how to evaluate about organisational life. Now, why have I brought that to your attention? I have because that's probably one of the assessments that you did in your first year that you may be able to reflect upon and how you saw in practice within your placement year. You also started to consider the direction you wanted to take, and more importantly, you developed the skills and behaviours to which what would help you while you're on placement. Right, your second stage, your second year at university, am I on the right path? Now there will be some of you, while you're on the second year, who would not have been sure about what they're doing. They would have had doubts and you would have had concerns about where you're going. And a lot of you, if you're honest and you think about it, would have been very uneasy about where you're going, what you're doing. Was I on the right course? Was I on the right path? Did I know what I wanted to do? Did I really want to do a placement? People at university told me that a placement would be important, but I wasn't sure whether it was for me. Knowledge-wise, you developed and learned a bit about business ethics, strategy and operations management. You also had the opportunity to start specialise in your subject, whether that's HRM, marketing, finance enterprise. And more importantly, you were going through this phase saying, well actually, if I do a placement, what will it give me? What could I get from doing a placement that I can't get from coming my final year? And for numerous reasons, you decided to do placements. And while you're on placement, you went down the path into your placement year by working in a variety of multinational and small to medium sized enterprises, both in the UK and the United States, and you decided to start to see whether you fitted in. Now, while you were there in placements, you probably were thinking, well, am I successful? I'm not sure about what I'm doing. It's not really what I imagined it to be like. Making tea and coffee for people, photocopying, filing. However, some of this work there was one of the most important pieces of work that you do. Learning the business, learning what it's like to work in an organisation before you start being involved in sort of the tasks that you're doing. You know, for a lot of you, it probably wasn't what you expected. In some cases, it might have been better than you expected. In some cases, it might have been worse. However, how did you deal with these feelings of insecurity? How did you make sure that the first 2 years you had at university actually fitted in with your placement year? Now, it wouldn't have been a direct fit. It's about how you use them critical thinking skills and how you evolved and developed as a professional. Consider what skills and behaviours you developed whilst on placement, how you developed, and more importantly, how you changed. You then came back to what I like to call the Thunderdome, fighting for your place, to fighting for what's going to go on when you finish your degree. You've been away for a year, you came back, and a lot of your friends were graduated and away, and there's a small group of you who came back. Now you start to think, well, do I really fit back into university life? I find it difficult to come back to university when I've been working 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 to 7 every day. Then you start to think, well, how have I changed? What sort of professional am I going to be? There's far too much to do in the final year, and I have not enough time to do to reflect and think about who I am. This is why we have the essay at the end to give you time to think about what you're doing. You've probably had it on the back burner because you've been thinking about other things. However, if you go back to it, you start thinking about who I was, who I'm becoming. You need to think about what this essay will give you. It is your opportunity to reflect upon your learning journey. It is your time to make sense of chaotic, messy world. It gives you critical thinking, reflective mindset, which means that regardless of the knowledge that you may have from your degree, which you may forget. You may forget. What you will have is that you'll be able to reflect, react, make sense of chaos. It may only be worth 30%, and it may not be as important as a project in your minds, but it will stay with you much longer than your project will do, because it gives you skills and knowledge and expertise to react to chaos. This leads you to the final part, the promised land, where you're going now. You're going to leave university very soon. You've learned a little about marketing, HRM, finance, enterprise, and I do mean a little. I mean this with all respect. You can only do so much in the modules that you've done in university, and it's just a starting stone. It's a stepping stone to what you're going to learn on the job when you start working in professions. You should be now at the stage where you've woken to where you fit in this chaotic world of work, your promised land, your profession, and you will continue to flourish if you're reflective and reflexive. You now have knowledge about who I am and who I want to become. This is what the Reflexive essay is about. Good luck.